Hey, we're back at it. Another great Thursday night. Hopefully, everyone's week is going good. If not, hey, TJ and Mariah is going to turn it around. I'll try to help out. Anyways, in the meantime, thanks for coming in. Thanks to all the replay, to all the moderators, all the members, subscribers, friends, everybody here. Thank you for being here. Welcome, TJ. Welcome, Mariah. How are y'all this evening?
Doing very, very well. Glad to be back for another Thursday night, man.
Awesome. How about you, Mariah?
Doing good. Doing good. Happy to be back.
I'm sorry, y'all. We're late. We'll get some last minute stretches in for the evening, so bear with us. I think we are all stretched out, ready to go live. So, anywho, let's go ahead. Let's see what can I do. Let's go ahead and welcome everyone into the live stream. I'm sorry, y'all. I have not got the FishFarm.link Patreon yet, so I'm still going off the old way of doing it. I'm gonna run down through the list of everybody that's here. I cannot see the list, the participation list. So, anyways, I'll go ahead and do it. It's gonna be fast. I'm gonna try to catch everyone, but in the future, hopefully, I can change that. MNC, welcome. Hagen Hill, which would be Hagen Hill Design. Skull Aquatics, welcome. Pattern Aquatics. Alex, TJ. Whew, I'm out of breath. Bunny Viper, welcome. Way, best moderator on YouTube, welcome. Smokey's here. Kelly Foreman, welcome. Jeff Kane. Coreworks, Stephen P. Silent Aquatics. Nancy B. Everyone saying hi. That's awesome. Welcome, everyone. Now, I do see this a new member. I got to show this on screen. Welcome to the Fish Farm, to the Vibe Farm. How about that?
Before we even got started, Vibes. Remember. That's great.
I think it's because of TJ and Mariah. Hey, Craig, welcome. Ollie, Freaking Fish Lady, welcome. Asaya, welcome. All right. If you got questions, answer them later, because I'm not reading your comments. I'm just reading the names right now. Making sure. Stephen P., welcome. I'm not sure if I said it earlier, but welcome. Yeah, I am late, but yeah. Anyway, it's okay. KGE, welcome. All right. Shady Grady, Red Laser, welcome. Uncle Funk, Chattanooga Ed. Wow. That was a slip up. Welcome. Xanadudu, welcome. Linda Worth, welcome. Hopefully everyone's evening's going good. Okay, down the bottom of the chat. And, hey, shout out. Father Aquatics is already on the ball. I mean, tell you what, look at that. He's good.
Alex was studying up.
Yep. So, Alex, I hope you got questions. Hope you got some wisdom for us as well. So, anyway, since you put it in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and add it to the screen. How about that?
Also want to say hi to, I don't know if you got Linda Worth, but she joined us. And we got Craig.
Hey, Linda.
From Craig's Catfish Cave.
Like I was saying earlier, there is a participation list on FishFarm.link. I don't know why my words are stuttering tonight. Anyways, but you got to be a Patreon member on FishFarm.link to be able to see that. So hopefully I can change that in the future. But in the meantime, we'll just keep going like I have. It's okay, Fathom. Sorry, I can't help but much with making friends. I don't have too many. Hey, you got me. Hey, Stephen P. You're a wonderful friend. Okay. Alex, you want to start us off with what's happening this evening?
I think you just said Alex.
Whoa! Wow. Okay, back up. The deep breath, y'all. Everyone who's watching, stretch. We got this. Okay, TJ.
Yes.
Back out. You want? Wow. you want to go ahead and tell us what we're talking about tonight?
Yeah. So the idea for tonight is to talk a little bit about how do we go about picking new fish. In this case, we've called them new friends, right? And so it was just some debate that I think we had going amongst ourselves to talk a little bit about that process that we do. And I think there's a couple of ways that we could look at it. And I think one of them is how do you select new fish in general? And I think the other way to look at it is when you've decided on what that fish is going to be, uh, how do you decide out of a group of them that you may find at wherever it is that you're purchasing them? How do you pick? Assuming you get the luxury of doing that, right? If you're buying online, it's a little bit of a different story typically, but we'll assume maybe going to a local fish store, or if you've got a friend that maybe is a breeder, how do you go about picking the ones that you're going to take home? So I think it's really kind of those two angles that I think that we're kind of looking at, and I think maybe could provide some interesting commentary. I think from all three of us based on our experiences.
Sorry, I'm in chat. It's pretty good.
Talking about what Riva said, disclaimers. Vibes is going to be spicy tonight.
All right, thank you. But before you go to that, I'm gonna since I goofed up and said the wrong name. Vibes is with Todd, but thinking about Alex. Yeah, aren't we all secretly thinking about Alex? I saw that, Fallon. Okay, I'm gonna start it off. How do I pick a new friend? How do I pick a new friend? First thing, make sure you have an aquarium ready before you even think about getting a new friend. Now, of course, your size of the aquarium is going to depend on where it's going in your house or in your garage or in your fish room. So I know some of us kind of think of getting a new friend before having a tank, but the issue with that, say if you want an iguana, and you only have hold on, sorry. Anyway, okay, that was anyway. Distraction. Anyways, if you want an Asian iguana, and you have only a space for a 30-gallon tank or a 20 long.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a problem.
That you gotta. I know some people say that means you need a different location. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go ahead and make sure we got 20 long. Okay, now we got some ideas. Let's go to the Petco, PetSmart, your local fish store, etc. Or go online. So we know we can't get a humongous fish now because we only have a 20 long. So we go to the fish store. It's going to be hard to decide what fish to get because we got rows and rows and rows of fish. Different colors, different sizes. But hey, before you do that, do some research. Because you try to find out what size they're going to be at full size, these fish. At the fish store, most of them are not full size at fish stores. They're only babies. So it could be kind of hard to figure it all out. Hold on, y'all. Let's bring Mariah back up. We can't do this without her.
Sorry about that, guys. I was having some connectivity issues.
It's all good. It's all good.
No problem.
Anyway, get back to what I was thinking. So let's go ahead and pick up a Rummy Nose Tetra, which is perfect. And a 20-gallon long. You could do away with 6 of them. It'd be okay. But that'd be the max. I would do it going along. So you can do any other fish that's small, but make sure you check and research what the max size fish it's going to get the adult size. So, and then before you even pick it, make sure you go home and check your perimeters. Can your fish thrive in those conditions? I know you can acclimate it, etc., to your water, but why not make sure the fish you can get, you can thrive in your aquarium? So, picking a new friend, you want to make sure you're able to actually feed it properly. Check it, what kind of conditions it needs on a regular basis. Your filtration, your lights. Doesn't need plants in the tank. Doesn't need wood in the tank. Wow. So many side notes. Back to the basics. What kind of substrate? Wow. And also, what kind of tank mix can you add to those fish? To a new friend you picked up or want to get? What kind of tank mates? Snails. You want to add some cleaner fish, per se. Now, this is just my opinion. You could add a Bucinose to that tank. Now, don't go adding a Pleco, because Plecos can get different sizes. Like I said, make sure you know what size it's going to get to the adult. I'm going to stop right there, because my mind is keep traveling. But in the meantime, I'm going to let TJ and Mariah take it off and give us some wisdom on that.
Yeah, so I think when I got back into the hobby here the last few years, I remember vividly having the conversation. So, with my wife at the time of, talking about, hey, here's getting back into the hobby, and I remember being a kid where you always bought the tank and then you worried about the fish. And I said, we're not going to do that this time. This time we're going to pick out the fish that we want, and then we'll buy the tank for it. And then I think reality ended up right back in the same old trap. Went to Petco, picked up the 40-gallon breeder and brought it home and got it all set up, and ended up working out. I've got just a group of multis in there. It's a plenty fine tank, but it was one of those where I made all these promises to myself, and it just ends up going out the window.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's an incredibly important point to think about the type of fish that you're interested in, and to decide what type of tank you want, right? Because I think I've talked before on the stream that a lot of my tanks are species only. That's a very specific tank compared to the tank that I do have that is a community tank. And the stocking is different, and the process that I've gone through to put those tanks together is obviously quite a bit different. And I think it requires you to think about the type of fish keeper that you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it also requires you to think about what's important to you in an aquarium. Mm-hmm. Are you someone who loves planted aquariums? In general, I do, but there are aquariums where the plants really won't survive because the fish are plant eaters, right? And so there's certainly some that I think they're much less likely to eat, but in general, you can't have necessarily all the interesting varieties that you might like, and that's a factor. And so I think it really comes down to making sure that you know who you are as that fish keeper, or defining it if you're brand new to the hobby, and what are the things that are important to you in this first aquarium. And so I think that's one that, again, I feel like for whatever reason, you sort of set out in that direction, like, this is how I'm going to do it. And then it just goes right out the window. And then you sort of, one of two things happens. Either you come to the realization, and thankfully that's because you've done some version of research in the process, or you end up like a lot of folks that we see that end up with a 10-gallon aquarium and like a giant fish in it, or a fish that should be, much bigger, but it's unfortunately maybe not grown to size because it was crammed in a tank that didn't work, right? So
Right.
I think it's really, it's really important. I think, Hagen Hill says here kind of comes down to self-control. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really that's really important to to understand that you're signing up for a commitment here, and it's something that we need to take really seriously.
That's a good point, Todd. This is a commitment. This is not just another toy or something that we can toss to the side. This is a life commitment for whatever fish you're getting. So, wisely, yeah. Okay, I'm back.
What you thinking, Mariah?
Well, I think there's so many different things that you can consider when picking a new fish, of course, but something that I think a lot of people don't really think about is the activity level. You can consider the activity level because there's some species that are highly active swimmers, where some are more sedentary and prefer to hide or have a much slower swimming pattern. So I think it's important to think about the overall energy level that you would want to have in your tank to be able to choose fish that would align with those preferences. In addition to how long do you want to keep these fish? There are some fish species that, of course, we know their longevity is not as substantial as others. There's some fish that only live for a year or two, whereas there's some that can live for a few decades, So I would say determining how much of a long-term commitment you want to have with the specific setup that you have or specific species that you're going for, you got to determine that long-term commitment and the longevity. And then something else, of course, that I think is probably a big driving factor for a lot of us is the visual appeal. Of course, the visual appeal is extremely important in researching like different colors, body shapes, patterns, different fin movements. All of those things can make it so much more visually captivating for your tank, and to be able to display that in your home is a truly beautiful thing. And then I would probably say this is kind of a yes and a no thing. The level of experience that it takes to keep said fish that you're looking for or looking into getting. The reason I say yes and no is because there are some fish stores that will tell you that there's certain fish that are incredibly difficult to keep, and they're really not. It just really depends on a lot of different variable circumstances. But in a lot of cases, there are fish that are extremely difficult to keep. So I think that considering the level of experience, of course, and whether or not it would be a good idea to go into keeping that fish species is a good thing to consider as well. And of course, lastly, I would say probably the biggest thing, research. You can never, ever do too much research when it comes to finding a new fish or setting a new tank up. There's just so many different ways of doing things and implementing different things within the hobby. I think as long as you have the basics down as far as tank size and compatibility goes, and of course, good clean water, after that, it's pretty much anything goes, just because there are so many different ways to implement things within our hobby.
I like what Ko had to say way back in the chat. Hey, if you're a live streamer, this is a tip for the evening. Have 2 comments page up. I got one on my phone and one on the computer. That way, I can stay up with chat, and also if there's good points that someone has sent prior, you can keep it, and you can also bring those up. You get what I'm saying? That way you don't skip over the good ones. I'm going to ahead and bring it up. What's the goal? To get a new fish and design a tank for that fish, or fill a niche within the tank? Those are both good points. Good advice. You can do either one. I'm not stuck on either one. Because say if you do a nice aquascape, you don't have to put a fish in there that the book says goes with that aquascape. You get what I'm saying? But then again, if you do a fish, if you get a fish and build around that fish, you could kind of make not a biotope per se, but try to copy where that fish was from. Like for instance, you can get Phantoses. That's kind of what I did with my tank. I know this is not a biotope because I did not copy the same. Okay, I'll take it back. I tried to copy it, but I did not pull the same substrate, the rocks from Lake Tanganyika for these Phantoses. So it's not a biotope. But I kind of try to resemble their environment. So in this case, I got the fish first and then built the environment around them. Now, with my discus tank, discus and rainbow, that I built the tank first, the aquascape and all that, then I add fish to it. So it's not how was it is in the wild. So you can do either way, but if you're doing the aquascape first and then adding fish, make sure the fish that you're adding does fit in that aquascape. I mean, we're talking about size, right? So make sure it does fit. Yes. Either way does work, but make sure, no matter what fish you put in there, that the tank is going to be its home, or can be its home for its lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, moving on. Welcome everyone. Welcome
Dying
Garcia.
over the escape your tank jokes.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. The chat is giving us some escaping the tank jokes.
Oh,
Someone said, get Buenos Aires Tetris and escape your tank with nice plants. And somebody said, get live plants and get crayfish. And then Bunny Viper said, escape your tank with steak, but put piranha in it.
MS Aquascaping, welcome. DJ Company Fish, welcome. Like I said, I'm gonna try to catch everyone coming in. Fishfarm.link, welcome. They're here. It's official, y'all. We are live. Yeah, Shady Grady, I saw your question too. Don't you think that you have to build the aquarium on a fish you want to keep?
I think it's either that or you have to be aware of the tank that you've already built and pick the fish that will go in it, right? So an example, and I think it kind of goes back to Riva's question around, is it, building the tank for the fish or finding sort of the niche that the fish fits in your tank. And so if I think about like a community tank, I didn't buy the entire community of fish at once, right? I maybe started out with a group of 6 or 8 or whatever, and every so often continued to kind of add to that. And I think it's taking sort of an inventory of what you've got. Where are the areas where maybe you don't have a fish occupying, or maybe can you add a group of like a schooling type of fish, and trying to sort of fill some of those gaps until you get to a place where you're like, okay, like that's stocked enough. And it's been really interesting. So I've had times where I've had low stock in that aquarium, and I've just gone to the local fish store that I tend to frequent, and wasn't sure what I was going to get. But I would go there. I knew, okay, I've got, plenty of room for, groups of tetras or something like that. And that's been a really interesting process because I have ended up with tetras that I didn't go there to buy.
Right.
I walked in and looked around at all the aquariums. and I ended up with a group of Pristella tetras. Those are like the X-ray tetras.
Mm-hmm.
They were never on my radar. Any pictures or YouTube videos I saw about them, they seemed fine, right? But the main thing that I saw was that they were silver, and I was like, well, that seems kind of boring. But I went to the store, I saw the tank with all these Pristella tetras, and I was like, wow, they're incredible. They've got so many different colors with a red tail. They've got on the dorsal fin, it's like a stripe of black, white, and yellow.
A little bit of gold.
And
in
I was
there.
like,
Nice.
those are it. And they were so healthy looking. I said, everybody looks like they're doing great. I'm going to take a group of those. When I was there, I ended up seeing these little tetras that they called brass tetras, but they ended up being gold tetras. But the color was incredible. The sparkly gold on most of them. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. I left, right? But then I came back, I don't know, maybe, a few weeks later, I still had, an interest in adding a few more fish. And I walked, and again, I was drawn to they would have never been on my list, but I knew I've got room for some schooling fish. And I went back there, and I ended up, just kind of picking those, right? And so it's kind of that interesting process of, you understand what you're basically kind of looking for, but you go and you pick it out based on, in that case, it was that they looked incredible and that they looked like they were all healthy and doing well. And I had good confidence that they were going to do well for me.
Right.
And so that, to me, when I think about picking fish, that is something that has, since those days, has stuck in the back of my mind, to say, I may go there wanting something in particular, but I may get there and I may see something different.
Right.
And being open to that, because maybe what I'm looking for, maybe they've only got one left, right? Because someone bought all but one, or maybe they just don't look right. And, forget that and go with something that, maybe catches your eye, that you didn't think you'd be interested in, but, looks really good and is, seems to kind of be more interesting than maybe you would have initially thought. So I think there's an element of kind of that. I've talked about, kind of that sort of new fish keeper excitement, right? And to me, that's one of those elements where you kind of go in and it's the excitement of, what am I going to find today, right?
Right. You made a good point when I was thinking about it. Basically, fish are in different categories, per se. The sizes. You got the nano fish, you got the medium range, then you got the big fish, right? So,
yeah.
Maybe you're not sure what fish you want, really. I mean, you got maybe this or that. You ain't sure. So, going to the fish store and seeing it in person, you might see a fish there. Like, wow, I didn't see a fish like that before. I've done that. But before you buy it, the reason I keep saying this over and over again, don't do a impulsive buy. I've done it, but don't do what I do. I'm talking to myself, not to y'all. I mean, you can be in the fish store. If you have to spend, be there 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever. Then look at that fish. If you really want it, make sure you know what you have at the house that you can put in. Make sure you have, nothing else, go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy a tote, a Husky tote or Walmart for quarantine, Basically, before you get it, make sure you got a place to put it. Because that can be dangerous, Because you get home, like, oh, no, I got a big fish. What do I do? So, some people, I've done it. I admit it, I've done it. Throw it in a tank or put it in a tank that is already established with other fish without thinking about it, because you might bring in diseases to that tank. And not me. Anyways, but before we keep going, I want to welcome some more people in to the live stream. Melvin, Vinoski, MNC Aquatics, Weasel. A lot of people coming in. Caprice P, welcome. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Positero, welcome. MB Reef, welcome. I think I caught everyone. Big Steve, welcome. I was wrong. I did see that HD Aquatics did have a good point a while back. Basically, think about it. What environment would you want to live in for the rest of your life? I like that idea. What environment would you want to live in the rest of your life? So you're basically putting your new friend, your new fish, etc., into an environment for the rest of their life.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, HHD. I never thought about that. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good way, right? I think there's other situations where people say, "Oh, I'm going to put them in a tank and then I'll upgrade them." Again, you have to know yourself. Are you going to be that disciplined to do that, or are you really putting that fish in that aquarium and that's as good as it's going to get for them? That to me is pretty tough to do. I think you've got to. It is much easier to build the tank they're going to need for the rest of their life. But if not, in my opinion, you have to be really committed to that, because it's other than that, you've bought something that you don't have the facilities to care for.
Right.
I'm seeing a lot in the chat of people who are saying, yeah, they go to swaps, pick up some fish, and then on the way home kind of have that realization of where they're gonna put them.
Right.
And I think probably a lot of people have been there. The good news is I think folks in our community tend to have more than one aquarium, and so that usually doesn't become as catastrophic as new to the hobby, one aquarium and don't know. That I think is awful tough, because then you're talking about starting a brand new something, a tote, a tank, whatever. And that's a person that is probably less equipped, right? So I'm not surprised to see that from some of the folks, just because I know, multiple aquariums, there's usually, you may play musical fish, but you usually have a way to sort of deal with it. I also was thinking about what Keith, KJE, said, that he goes to wholesalers quite a bit and he has his phone, so he's able to do research. If I think back to when I was a kid and first got into the hobby, that wasn't a thing. And it wasn't like you were carrying your aquarium books around with you, right? And so right?
That's not a bad idea.
Right, it isn't, but it's like, who did that? Nobody had like a backpack. Let me whip out my, Axelrod's, dictionary of fish or whatever it was, right? And so that's one area that our hobby has really advanced. I mean, it's the technology that's advanced, but it's given us access to this information where the excuse is less than what it would have been, 20, 30 years ago, when you didn't have that easy access. So, right, I think it's important to encourage people, use those resources so that you don't end up with something that you don't know what it is.
Right. Welcome, Rico. Not Our Aquatics. And Jeremy, welcome. Okay.
Do you see Rose question too?
Who?
We don't have to address it right this second, but just keep that in mind. Rav says that he's going to a swap next weekend, and other than cash, as a non-vendor, what should he bring? And so, basically, I thought it'd be just something good for us to answer at some point throughout the night.
Yeah.
Comfortable shoes, bottled water.
And also, I've been seeing through the chat, people have been saying having a spare tank. Some people have totes, two totes available. Now, what I've done in the past is put them in a 5-gallon bucket. Now, depending on the fish. If it's small fish that's going to stay small, you can put them in a 5-gallon, and they're going to be okay for a while. I mean, now, of course, you want to add filtration to the bucket. I have extra sponge filters around, extra air pumps. So if I have to, I can add another 5 buckets of water in my house. I have to. So
You're talking about to bring to like a swap?
yeah,
Yeah. So if I think about the Clash, I had like a little kit that I brought. So I ended up bringing, a bucket, just like you said. I ended up bringing. I brought a heater because I knew the room that I was at, like the hotel room, because the fish needed to stay in the bucket for that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I was going to keep it probably colder than those fish would like. So I had a heater in the bottom of the bucket. I brought a test kit because I wanted to test what the water was, just to make sure there wasn't anything that I didn't anticipate.
Right.
I brought some of the poly filter that tend to be able to soak up like ammonia. Sometimes people will put them in a bag when they're shipping fish because it'll absorb some of those compounds. So I could put a little cube of it in the aquarium, in the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I think having like an air pump source of some sort. So I brought one of those little USB ones that I could plug into the wall. I think depending on how far you're going, you can just leave the fish in the bucket. For me, I was driving home. It was 2 hours from the Clash to home back here in New Jersey. I brought bags, and I just bagged the fish up because it was easier to transport that than a bucket and worry about that kind of sloshing around and all that kind of business. So
Right.
I just bagged them up, and I could keep them contained in like a little cardboard box, that kind of a thing. And of course, like prime and buckets and all that, or prime and nets and all those other kinds of things.
Right.
So
Now,
the fact that you guys brought this up is perfect because I actually have something I want to show y'all.
Go for it.
Perfect. There you go. I don't know if you guys can see it too well.
hold on.
Here, I'll
Yes, I saw that.
Is that a water bottle?
That's actually a genius idea.
Is it getting air out of the car's air conditioning system?
Yep.
I mean, hey, that's actually
Mom
a
cut
genius.
the water bottle in half and rigged it up to their system in the car, and they've got it linked. It's going to the buckets. If it works,
Wow.
it works. I mean,
Yeah. Now, Todd, you mentioned USB air pumps.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick things up off of Amazon. 2 of them for like $12, $10.
Yep.
They're on sale, and
Yep.
they come with air stones and an airline. So now, if you don't have a USB port, you can buy a brick, that plugs into.
Yeah.
For you can buy a pack of 4 for what, $5, $10 off Amazon.
Yep.
And you're set. I mean, you could run, 8 buckets, 10 buckets, 12 buckets, whatever you need. You have to.
Yeah. The other thing that I have is more for emergencies here, but it would work in a situation like that, is actual AA battery powered pumps.
Yeah.
That come with they come with an airline and an air stone, and I've used them on occasion.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you didn't have power per se, right, that you could reliably get to, you could still use something like that.
Right. Welcome, Benjamin Peters. Good to see you. Now, for those that are flying to a swap or to an event or to one of the famous breeders in the States or in other countries, and you want to bring fish back, put them in bags. Depends on how long you're going to be. Say if it's only 6 hours, put them in a regular bag. Rubber band, you're good to go. But if you're thinking you might be gone, 36 hours, and you're worried about it, put them in a breather bag. Now, I've done, I don't know how many trips, probably 6 or 8 trips now I've flown places to get fish. Anyways, and I never had any loss yet. But what I've done successfully from the house, I put them in breather bags. I know breather bags are kind of expensive. I know that. But to me, at least I don't have to worry about them getting oxygen because the the gas exchange is through the plastic, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now what I've done before, I put them either take since we're talking about beaver bags, quick side note, either a paper towel or a napkin or even a hand towel around each bag, beaver bag, and put them into your backpack or to Now don't put it in a tight seal container because the beaver bags don't need to breathe yet. Otherwise, you might have fish loss. And you don't want the bags touching each other either, because that will prevent the gas exchange. So that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, hold on. I'm gonna quick show you what I've done. That way, and this is off of Amazon, by the way.
While we're waiting for him to gather his stuff, Mariah, anything else that you thought of from our original topic?
Honestly, the last thing I was going to say is just really it comes down to your own enjoyment and personal preference. I mean, your aquarium should definitely be a reflection of your own tastes and interests, like your own personal feeling of how you want it to look, how you want it to be activity-wise. And I think considering those factors and conducting thorough research can definitely help you make informed decisions when picking those fish. And of course, it's definitely going to help to allow you to maintain a healthy and thriving aquarium as well.
Yep.
And probably encourage you even more so to continue in the lifelong commitment of keeping an aquarium.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see Jeff here made a comment. Not a fan of breather bags because the fish that he likes are sharp. Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've had to bag and rebag and rebag and rebag plecos at stores when
they poke through.
A customer wanted to purchase. Yes. And yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Oh, crayfish. They're fun when they decide to pinch the corner of the bag.
Welcome, Happy Place Aquatics.
Welcome, Happy Place.
And Paul mentions. Go ahead. Oh, sorry. Paul mentions bringing back fish from the Triple Crown, 13-hour drive back home, and no casualties. Yeah, so I think there's definitely ways to make it so that you don't have any issues with the fish. I mean, if we think about it, they get shipped all the time. I think it's just a matter of having a process you're comfortable with and being able to replicate it so that you know that the experience for them is as low stress as can possibly be.
Right. And
I like what Hagen Hill said a little while ago. He said, so we don't need to speed 85 miles an hour on our way home from the fish store that's 30 miles away.
Well,
hey, by all means, please, if you want to still speed, I mean, your own discretion. I do. Just saying.
But then again, if you're in Texas, driving 85, that's normal. So you ain't speeding.
That's true.
I've never even been to Texas, and I know that's true. I've heard about y'all.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to repeat what Todd was saying. I'm not a fan of breather bags. This is Jeff Kane. For the fish, I like a shark. Yes, that's a good point. In my opinion, you can do it, but that's just my opinion. So if you think it's not going to work, don't do it. Anyway, some reason I thought I was going to show you down here, but I guess it's put away. Anyways, I'm going to show you interpretation. I put the breather bags inside of mesh canvas bags. This gives you an example of what it is. And you can pick them up from Amazon, pack of 12. And hey, they're the same size as a breather bag. So you can put the breather bag inside, drawstring it tight, put them in a backpack, and away you go. And flying with fish, that's another topic. So we can talk some other time. But anyways, yeah. Like I said, you can pick up some mesh canvas bags off Amazon, very reasonable price. put the beaver bags in, so that way each one is separate. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, I'm behind in chat.
Yeah, we did okay. I think we tried to keep up pretty
Okay.
good while you were gone.
All right, thank you. Now, yeah, if you're an hour from the fish store, you don't have to worry about the fish.
Mm-mm.
From the fish store to your house, you don't have to worry about it. But hey, if you're from a fish swap and you got a good drive and it is cold outside and you don't have a heater in your vehicle, you might have issues. So make sure that the temperatures don't get too cold too fast. Now, in emergency, say in a hotel room and you don't have a heater
Mm-hmm.
and the hotel room's cold, either turn the heat on in the hotel room or do a water change. And
Yeah, with warmer water.
yeah. Now, I'm not telling you if your bucket of water with fish in it is at 65 degrees. Don't put 90-degree water into the bucket.
Right.
Now, what you can do, put 10 degrees warmer. Not like 100% water change. I'm doing like 50%, but do it every hour if you want to raise it up to the temperature you want. And you could put blankets or towels around the bucket to kind of insulate. That way it takes longer to cool down.
Hey y'all, real quick. Garcia popped in a little while ago,
Hey, Berto.
came in, and then dipped out, and then came back. Hey Garcia, we did not miss you. We didn't overlook you. We love you, Garcia. We got you.
Yeah, hey, God. I thought I said God earlier. Hey, I'm sorry, God. If I didn't say welcome, I'm sorry. Welcome back. You're one of us. So sometimes, hey, I'm going to say right now. Sometimes I'm in the chat. I'm thinking I'm saying it out loud sometimes, and I'm not. So bear with me. So
Good
yeah.
to know that Vibes, you've got the chat going on inside your head and outside your head.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
I think we've learned something new tonight here.
So if I'm sitting here not talking out loud, that's probably what's happening.
You're in the internal chat.
Right.
Carl says if you want, you could also do like a double boiler and fill the tub with warm water and then put the bucket inside the tub to absorb
Oh
the heat.
yeah.
Yes.
Very good
Thorough.
point.
Great point. I like that.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
the
I was also gonna
second week that Riva's come up with something that I never would have come up on my own. I think wasn't last week or maybe that was the week before that he talked about taking I think it was him that talked about taking a vinegar eel culture and submerging it in the
I think
the
so.
aquarium, right? With the cotton
flaws
or the
in front of it. Yeah.
yeah, and that it would feed the fish like if we were gone away on a vacation.
I think that was. I believe so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I was also going to suggest, you guys, those tiny little foam coolers that you can, they're little disposable coolers that you can get from like the grocery store or wherever. They're super, super cheap, usually like $10 or less. Get one of those little things. Keep one of them in your trunk. They don't take up a lot of space, and you can store stuff in it when you're not using it for your fish. Keep it in your car.
Yep.
In case you do decide to do an impulsive buy,
Right.
and you have to figure out what the next step is for it.
Yep.
Or even if it's not impulsive and it's just a purchase in general. That way
Right.
you have it there for that in case moment.
Sure.
And then you can figure out the next step after that. At least you have somewhere for it to be temporarily.
Welcome, Stephen White. How you doing? Long time no see. Hopefully your week's going good. I saw that Skull Aquatics says he puts them in the bathroom since the AC is in the main room. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
Some hotels have electric blankets by request. HHD said. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. So there's lots of.
I would say you could even probably wrap a warm towel around the bag.
Yeah.
And then wrap some blankets around that, But back to that foam cooler that I was talking about, that would insulate the bag pretty well.
Mhm.
And like I said, if you needed to, you could even drop a bubbler down in there, an airline in there. If you
Right.
need to. So,
And you don't have to have a bucket to put an airline in. You can have a
Yeah.
bag.
right.
So, hey, Jimmy P, what does the topic mean? Hey, Jimmy, you're late. Just saying. Anyways, back to the picking a new friend.
Mhm.
The new friend, really, I did that topic because that way it covers all new friends that go into the aquarium.
Mhm.
The turtles. I know normally we don't talk about other species in the hobby. Turtles, frogs, crawfish, even shrimp. We don't talk much about.
Sorry, guys, I'm laughing at the chat.
If you're not snuggling with your fish bags to keep them warm when traveling in a hotel, do you even care about the fish?
Alex.
Yeah.
MNC said, so we don't stick the bag in the microwave? No, please,
No.
God, no.
I mean, if you want boiled fish or crawfish or shrimp,
Oh
I
my
mean, hey.
I mean, if you
Wait,
want
didn't you
fish
do a shrimp
stew,
boil
go for
there? That was a different stream, right, Vibes?
it.
Yes. Yeah, that was a different string.
A shrimp boil. Boil in a bag.
Yeah. You didn't use cherry shrimp for that, did you?
I mean, they turned pink after they were ready to eat. I mean, close enough. I mean, boiled and tuna soup. Now, how does this is no longer an aquarium show, y'all. This is a food show. Sorry, you come to the wrong show. No,
Oh God.
but
Okay, I'm back.
okay. Welcome back. You're gonna have to have a lot of shrimp to have a meal, though. True.
Hmm.
New topic: steaming a new. Hey.
Steaming a new friend.
Hey, that was a good topic.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I think you got it this time, y'all. You got Mariah to
Oh, no.
No.
Yeah. All right. Back at it.
Berto asked if any of us have any new fish.
Good.
Oh.
I'm looking. I mean, yes, I do, sort of. They're new because they just were born, so they are new, I guess.
Yeah, that counts.
Now those would be the Maltese, the shore dwellers. Now
Yep.
those are always having babies, and also I noticed my guppies also had babies. But other than that, I mean the shrimp, of course, but purchasing or getting new ones. Hey, since you mentioned it, Garcia, I totally forgot about it. I think about aquarium fish only. I did get some new ones. If y'all been looking at the videos coming out on the channel, y'all would have seen it yesterday. Video that came out.
I think
Koi
you added some stuff to the pond, yeah?
Yeah. That was exciting.
Mhm.
And hey, the best way to do that, to add fish to your collection, is rescue them.
Mhm.
I mean, I know it's cool to buy fish and all, but how much better is it if you give it a new home? You know?
Yeah, right.
Really, a new home.
Exactly. Yep, I think that's right.
Yeah, go ahead, TJ and Mariah. to Garcia's question.
So I kind of have an answer similar to yours, right? I haven't purchased any new fish, but I've got 3 different species of baby fish. I've had them for a few weeks now at least, and so they're thankfully continuing to do well and to grow. So adding kind of to the populations of things I've already got, but not purchasing anything specifically new to bring into the house.
Mm-hmm. Fathom got a basher, a biker. I want to say it last weekend. Oh yeah, I remember that. You were talking about it last on Saturday night live stream. Hey, since we're talking about it, quick, I'm gonna do a little shout out. How about that? There you go. That's so beautiful. I like it, Fathom. Okay, go ahead, Mariah.
So right now I don't have any, but I will soon. Actually, a friend of mine is going to be moving and has quite a few tanks that are going to be moving with him. So during that process, not only am I going to get some fish, some of them are not going to stay with me. They're just going to be going from me to someone else. I'm going to be holding them for a little while. Going to get some silver dollars that are about 5-6 inches right now.
Nice.
Like I said, those are just going to be temporary hold. I don't want anything to do with them. They're cool fish, but no thank you. I would like to have plants at some point that stay in the tank. And silver dollars don't really let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also going to be renting my 150-gallon tank from me to take and go do some stuff with while he's transitioning his other tanks and moving things around. But he's going to be giving me some of his lemon Oscars.
Ooh.
I'm probably going to be getting about 2 or 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think he said they're about 4 inches right now, about 4 or 5 inches. So it's exciting.
Is that going in your 150 when it's done being rented?
They are, as of right now, when I get them, because the 150 is going to be in the process of being rented when I get them. They're going to actually go in the 45, believe it or not. Which also bad news. One of my Jack Dempsey's killed the other one a couple of days ago.
Oh no.
Chris Jericho killed Randy Orton. Sad to say.
Oh boy.
It happens.
Yeah, sucks, but everybody else is doing great. No more bullying and anything like that. I guess it was just those two that had issues with each other, but I want to pop the Oscars in there with them and see how well they do, since they're still pretty small and similar size of the ones that are in my tank now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Oscars are coming from a pretty heavily populated community tank.
Mm-hmm.
I think they should be fine.
Mariah, did you see Fallon's comment? Mariah, I'm local. Let me know if you need help.
Sounds good. You'll have to hit me up on Instagram if you have my Instagram, and we can definitely talk some more about it.
If you don't, Alex, hit me up. I got all her info. So yeah.
And we've got more call outs for tank tours.
I saw that. That might be. We'll have to talk about that backstage because I'm not sure how we're gonna do that yet. But yeah.
Okay. So we'll say it's in consideration, pending technical.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Trying to think. I think Ed's going live after a bit here.
Yeah. Let me just verify the exact start time. It's usually 9:30 or 9:35.
And Mariah, what should the hashtag be?
9:30.
Hashtag fashionably late.
Hashtag what?
You heard me.
Fashionably late.
late.
Oh, don't look so. We wouldn't be having this discussion. We wouldn't be having this discussion if it wasn't for our fearless leader.
Fair enough. Hashtag late. All right, y'all.
MNC said hashtag microwave fish. Oh God, no. No.
Like on every sense of that phrase, no.
God, even microwaving to reheat cooked fish.
No.
No.
That's what I mean, Mariah. I'm like, no.
No, I think I just lost my appetite. Yeah.
Benjamin says hashtag fish sticks.
Hey, Rachel! Where you been all evening?
Losing cat.
Very, very late. I'm gonna keep it simple. Hashtag late. How about that? Yeah. I'm making sure I covered all the bases. Hey, while I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna let TJ and Mariah take over. Is there anything that we missed in picking a new thread?
I have to believe the answer is absolutely yes. Right? I think we've touched on it a little bit, but I think it's also important to think about things like the food required.
Care requirements, absolutely.
Right, care requirements, I think in general are a factor in making sure that you are willing to do what is necessary. In general, it's probably in a lot of cases not much different, but I think there are certain situations where it is different, right? I think certain situations around what you're intending to do, right, as far as the type of fish. There are some fish that if you're buying because you want to breed, you may have some fish that you have to manipulate some water parameters. Again, we're talking now more kind of the advanced techniques, but there are some cases where you may have to use some RO water when you're changing, or do some sort of mineralizing from an advanced technique perspective. And so even if you're not a novice keeper, if you're looking for fish that you're going to be breeding, make sure that you're willing to do what it takes. Otherwise, that's going to be, if nothing else, that'll be an exercise in frustration when nothing happens, right? You're looking here to, breed for, maybe you're looking for breeder awards points and you enjoy that part of the hobby, and you aren't willing to do the work that it takes to make that happen. You aren't willing to feed at the heavy rate that it requires, or the types of foods. For some foods that maybe require either live or frozen foods as opposed to just flake. I think those are considerations that you also have to make.
Quick, hey, Boots, Cat, I saw your comment. I'm gonna read it anyway. My sister was here. That's awesome, Rachel. Hey, if you're friends, if you're a family, my opinion, this is my opinion, right? You don't have to be on a live stream in a chat. You don't have to. In my opinion, don't be with your friends and your family. That's my opinion. Because hey, okay, I know we're all real people on here, but that's in person. So if you get company over, ignore live streams. Hey, that's what I do. So But like Jeff Kennedy said, bring her with you, bring her along. Oh yeah. But anyhow, I thought that was a good point. Boots, cat. Uh, there was a comment.
MS Aquascaping says his dad used to keep keeping arowana for years, and then one day it decided to jump out, found it dead, and the dad fried it. You guys had some bites out of it. How was it delicious? Did it taste as grumpy as they look?
It tastes as grumpy as they look.
That's good. Good. I like this.
I mean, arowana do look pretty. The arowana do, to be fair, they do kind of have this look on their face like they're about to tell you to get off their lawn.
Yeah, with the upturned kind of the mouth.
You know.
Yeah.
Hey kids, what are you doing over here? Get off my lawn. Yeah.
Aqua Funk.
Wow, that was a good impression of an arowana. Interesting.
Yeah, it was.
I'm not sure I'll ever be able to look at them the same.
Right. Hey, Aqua Funk, I think you just goofed up. You met me a couple times, and I consider you a friend, so I'm not your family, I'll tell you that much. Sorry, Funk. Welcome, Carr. Okay. Yeah, I saw some people saying there was with friends and family. That's okay. Hey, I said that's my opinion about that whole thing. Anywho.
Yeah, nobody should ever feel bad. Oscar's a pretty grumpy look, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Vibes, I agree with you. Nobody should ever feel bad about wanting to spend time with, family or, friends that they have close to them. Mm-hmm. We totally understand, right? I mean, you've got to sort of spread your time around. So we're happy to have everybody here all the time with us, right? Because I think that's part of what makes this fun for the three of us to do. But never, ever feel like you have to apologize because you couldn't make it. We understand that everybody's got priorities. There's definitely times throughout the week that I don't make the streams that I'd usually like to, just for various reasons. So
right.
Yeah, nobody should ever feel bad about that.
Same here, yeah.
Hey, I have many streams, so.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Sonny G, welcome.
Hey, Sonny.
Coral says, "Bob, what about when you and Funk are at Applebee's?"
It's going to be really good. That's all I gotta say. So, I did see a comment a while back that I wanted to read by HHD. I know it's kind of, we talked about a little bit. Right here, sorry. Be prepared to be impulsive. Know yourself. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what you're saying, have a backup plan. I mean, not just one. Have 3 backup plans. Because I know myself. If there's a fish I see that I've been looking for a long time, and I better found it, and I find it, I probably ain't gonna buy it. You know what I mean? So basically, yeah, be prepared for that.
I think the other thing is find your mentors.
Yes.
It can be friends, it can be family, it can be a community like the one that we have here. I think, from my perspective, I found the community trying to do research and met the great people, and that's why I stayed. Right. But initially it was to do research as I was getting back into the hobby. And so it could be that. It can be people even if you've got a great local fish store where they really know the hobby and they're passionate about it. They're keepers themselves. In a situation like that, it's important to build that network for yourself because it's another source of being able to pick fish, right? Where you can get an opinion if you're not sure. Maybe you do your own research and you find competing information and you're not sure how to sort of in your own mind break that tie. turn to those mentor type people and get their opinions on what works. And that I think can also help you so that you don't end up in a situation that you don't anticipate.
Right. And by doing research, also some fish have different characteristics. Now, you can't say every fish goes by the book because they each have their own character. You know what I'm saying? But if, like for instance, in Bunas, they're known to be kind of aggressive, so plan for that. If cichlid, there's a good chance it's going to be aggressive. I mean, the way it is, the cichlids, but doesn't mean that they're going to be. But so basically, plan for it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, thanks, Epis Aquatics. Okay, I'm out. Just want to stop by and say hi. Everyone have a great night and stay safe. Thanks, you too.
Thank you.
I'm keep putting in my notes. Okay, before I forget it. There's dog people, cat people, and also fish people.
And some people are a mix of all of those potentially.
Right. And picking a new friend, that can be anything. Any pet that basically you want to give it a home where it can thrive for the rest of its life. And I did see a while back, I wanted someone, who was it? I think it was HHD. They put good comments in tonight. Anyways, your fish or your pet is not just a wall painting. It's a life. Treat it as such. So, before we head out, though, we want to conclude this. TJ, you want to take it away? What you got to say before we head out?
I think it's the same as every week. I really enjoy the opportunity to come and hang out with both of you guys. I think it was another fun night, and got a chance to talk about another good topic. And appreciate everybody in chat. We've had a lot of interaction, like always, and really happy y'all joined us.
Thank you. And how about you, Mariah?
Same thing as always. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching us this evening. Everybody in the replay, thanks for watching. Come back and watch us live next week. Also, apparently, happy Chinese New Year to those celebrating it. On Saturday. So there's that.
Yep.
And as always, you guys, treat others how you want to be treated. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And may God treat you how you treat animals.
Yes. And yeah, like Mariah was saying, if you missed it tonight, live stream, come back next Thursday. Same time, same place. Now, it might be the same late. Hashtag late. Those watching replay, you made it this far, put it in the comment below the replay. Hashtag Team 6, because I have noticed in the past some of y'all have come to this point. I don't know why, because either you're crazy like me, or you really enjoy listening to replays. I don't know.
We're just as good on the replay as we are live, Vibes.
Aww. You know what, you guys? Sam called me out. I totally messed that up. May God
you didn't say anything about the elders.
And elders.
And oh yes. There we go. Hashtag fashionably late. There you go, y'all. And that is send over to EdStream. The link is in the chat. Where is it at? Sorry, y'all. I'll just make sure. There we go. Go ahead, check Ed out. Watch him. He has great advice. Until later, love your family, your friends. Take care of your new friend. And like I've been saying, positive vibes. Stay positive. Until next time, Peace out. Bye. And yeah, thanks to all the members. You guys rock.